Okay, so we're almost there. Now what we need to do is create a sill plate and a rim joist. So we're going to go to beam. We are going to select the 2x10, edit type, duplicate, and rename it 2x8 sill plate. And I know it's a 2x8 sill plate because I looked at the section drawing and it says right here 2x8 sill plate. Alright, so now to make the sill plate show up properly in the drawing, we have to change the A and B dimensions. Or the B and D dimensions, excuse me. So we're going to have, the sill is going to be 7 1/4 by 1.5 inches. Okay, and then we're going to say okay. So what this is allowing the sill plate to lay flat instead of putting it vertical. Then we have to change the level, so we want it to be attached to top of foundation, and then we are going to draw it on the top of the foundation from here to here, and then I'm actually just going to say chain. Sorry, let's do that again. Delete that one. Do it one more time. Beam, sill plate, chain, top of foundation. We're going to just click all the way around this foundation wall for our sill plate. Okay, and now we're going to look at it in 3D. So a little bit of a problem here is that it's down inside of the wall, so we need to raise it up. So click on one, right click, select all instances in entire project, and then we're just going to change the top level offset to 1.5 inches, and we're going to change the end level offset to 1.5 inches, okay, and hit apply, and then that pushes them up. So now you can see that actually things are working out properly. Here's the sill plate, and then we've got our joists, and they're sitting on top of that sill plate, which is exactly what is shown on our section view. We're going to go back to the foundation plan, and we're going to see if we can't get these to connect a little bit better. Okay, so what we'll do is we will just grab the end of it and use this arrow. We're going to pull it over, and then we're going to use the arrow, and we're going to pull it up. Okay, and those will make all those sill plates connect, and we're going to do the same thing down here. Click on the sill plate, pull it over, click on this sill plate, use the arrow to pull it down to connect. And then, of course, what we're going to do after is look at it in 3D, because we have to make sure we did it right. Yes, that looks fine. Alright, now we need to add the rim joist. So the rim joist, let's take a look at those residential drawings. Some people call this a header joist as well, but it's this. What we just drew was the sill plate right here. It's on top of the concrete. And then this is our rim joist, which is actually blocking the other joists so that we can't see them, right? There's not that giant gap. So we're going to create that next. That rim joist is going to be the same, looks like a 2x10. So we'll go back to our foundation plan, and we will select structure, beam. We need a 2x10, and then we want it to be at level, top of foundation. And we know that we are going to have to change the start and end level offset, but we'll do that after. And then let's go ahead and we're going to draw that. I'm going to just pick walls, and we're going to pick it around the outside of the sill plate. Okay. And really, we don't have to do all this. I was just trying to show you guys some bonus information. So where did it go? Well, it's way down in here. See it? So I'm going to click on it. Okay, so in the 3D view, we found it. It's right here. So I'm going to click on it. And actually, what I want to do is I'm going to go to section view because it's a little bit easier to understand once again. So I'm going to go to the section, and I'm going to compare it to the residential drawing section. So if we look at this, according to this section, our sill plate is at the edge of this foundation wall, and then there's our rim joist. So what we're going to do is I am going to move these elements over and up a little bit. So I have that one moved already, but let's go to this one so I can show you. So we're going to click on the sill plate. We're going to use the move tool. I'm going to click on the end point of the sill plate, and then I'm going to click on the end plate of the foundation wall. Now here's the rim joist, and I am going to move that up as well. So I'm going to click move. I'm going to click on the end point of the rim joist, and then see if it will let me move it up. It may not. Nope. It will only let me move it up with the start and end level offset, and that's going to be, let's try 10 inches. I know that's not what it is, but I just want to show you guys. Sometimes a little trial and error is okay. So now I can move this over, and then let's see if it will let me move it up now. And it does. Okay, so it was 10 3/4. Right, so you have the sill and then the rim. And then our joists are running in between. And then we're going to have to make those adjustments for some of our other elements. So let's go through the 3D view again, and let's make sure that we have all of that information set. And again, one of the easiest ways that I find to do this is actually in the section view or looking straight at an elevation. So it looks like our north and south elevations need to be adjusted. So I'll go to north. I will find, it's a little hard to find my sill plate, so I'm going to go back to my foundation plan, and I'm going to make another section because it's going to help me. So view section, cut straight through the building, right click and say go to view. Now I can see the sill plate here, so I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to move this rim joist up, and then I'm going to move it over. Okay, it's the same thing on the other side. We're going to move this over. Oop, and then we're going to move this one up. Or I'll just simply type 10 3/4 inches. And move it that way. Hey, right? And then I'll move it over. Okay, so sometimes you have to work in multiple views to help. I do see that there's a little bit of an issue though. I don't know if you guys caught this, but in this section here, it does appear that our beams are sitting a little bit too high. So they're not sitting at the top of the pier like we originally intended them to. So I'm going to see if we can't move these down. Yeah. But I'm not sure it actually moved the other end down, so sometimes they do this weird sloping thing that you can't really see until you look at it again in 3D view. So I'm going to look at it in 3D, and I'm just going to see if it's sloping on the sides. So it says that it's at -1.8 for the whole group, and it appears to be fine, so I guess we move the whole thing. Alright, so now we have the sill plate, we have the rim joists. They're not connecting anymore, so we need to go back to our foundation plan and edit that. So go back in, and again, click on the sill and just pull those together. Click on, pull them together, and click on the rim joists and pull them together, and then click and pull. So do that all the way around the building. Okay, and then once you've finished, take a look at it in 3D, and you can see all your hard work. Now, it does look a little funny still, right? So, and it's because the building material really needs to come down over these elements, these wood elements. They wouldn't just be hanging out on the side of the house. So we need to adjust that next. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the wall, and we're going to edit the type. And if you take a look at your textbook, it actually reviews this. So exercise 2-3 on page 2-11 in your book actually reviews this next part that I'm going to show you. But what we need to do is we need to pull that siding layer down past the rim joists and the sill plate, because we don't want to be able to see those from the outside of the building. So what we'll do is we look at the section, and we'll hit modify, and we'll click on this bottom line of the siding, and we're going to unlock it. Okay, so now that we have that done, we'll say okay, and then we're going to say okay. And what that allows us to do is if you're clicked on the wall you're going to see an arrow pop up, and that arrow will allow you to pull just that siding down. So sometimes this is easier to do in an elevation so you don't accidentally pull the wrong thing. Click on that, and then go ahead and pull this down past the rim and the sill plate all the way down to the top of foundation, and then take a look at it in 3D, and you'll see, oops, sorry, that's the wrong side, that it just pulls that siding down, but it doesn't pull the other building components down. Now the other thing you're going to notice is that this joist and all this information is popping out past the wall. So all that hard work that you guys just did, we are actually going to have to do a little bit more because we're going to have to push it back in from the building. So if you want, we can do that first. What we need to do is if you click back on this wall type and hit edit type, and I'm purposely doing this in an odd order because I just want you guys to see that you will draw stuff incorrectly and you'll have to go back and you have to problem solve. So this is just how we can show you those steps. If you hit edit, the thickness of that siding is 3/4 of an inch. So on the foundation plan, what we want to do is we want to move the sill plate and the rim joist in 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to click on both of those, click move, click on the end point, and then just type 3/4 of an inch and hit enter. And I'm going to do that, oops, all the way around the building, select both, select move, and then type in 3/4 of an inch, okay? And then of course, like before, we're going to have to remodify all this stuff to connect properly. And that's okay. So I won't take the entire video up doing this stuff, but make sure that you guys go and you move all that stuff 3/4. Okay, so now you can see that after I did that, when my siding comes down, it actually just looks like siding and I can't see any of those structural components. So we'll do that for each view. We'll go into each elevation. So I'm going to go to east. I already pulled that one down. We'll go to north. We'll click on the siding. We'll pull it down. We'll go to south. We'll click on the siding and we'll pull it down. And then we'll go to west and we'll click on the siding and we'll pull it down. So now if we look at it in 3D, you can see that the siding goes down to that top of that foundation on all of those sides. And obviously, like in real life, we're going to have to consider grade and some other things like that, but for this instance, this is good. You guys are showing some great information. So we'll go back to that section 1, and then you can see in section, there's our foundation wall, our sill plate, our rim joists, and then we have our beams, our pier, and we have our joist running through here. And we'll make some more modifications to this section. But for now, you have a great start at actually constructing the foundation and getting all the components that you need within the building. Alright, so the next video that we create will review adding a roof to your structure, and then we'll also go over some of these things in class.